Gabriel Onyenwife is my name. I represent Oyi. I am a federal constituency of Anambra State. My motion is on the refusal and deliberate failure of the Inspector General of Police to honor the invitation of the Committee on Police Affairs over the violation of the 2016 Appropriation Act, the Fiscal Responsibility Act, and the Public Procurement Act. The House knows that the sum of 1.2 billion naira was approved in the Appropriation Act of 2016 for the purchase of 10 numbers of armored personnel carriers by the Nigeria Police Force. But the amount was diverted for the purchase of 64 Toyota Hiace commuter vehicles without the approval of the National Assembly. The House also knows that the sum of 6 billion naira was appropriated in the same act for the rehabilitation and reconstruction of 102 police stations nationwide, but the amount was also diverted for other uses without the approval of the National Assembly. The House is concerned that these infractions of the Appropriation Act 2016, the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007, and the Public Procurement Act 2007 are just two of the several infractions committed by the Nigeria Police Force in the course of the implementation of the 2016 Appropriation Act. The House recalls that the Committee on Police Affairs invited the Inspector General of Police on 6th of December 2016 and 13th of December 2016 in its capacity as the Chief Executive and Accounting Officer of the Force to explain or justify these perceived infractions, but he failed or refused to honor the invitation or justify the failure or refusal to attend to such invitations. The House is cognizant that the diversion of a sum appropriated in the budget without the approval of the National Assembly constitutes a breach of the Appropriation Act and a gross violation of the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. The House is concerned that the persistent failure or refusal of the Inspector General of Police to honor the invitations has stalled the investigation of the diversion of the funds. The House is therefore invited to resolve as follows. 1. Condemn in the stronger terms the failure or refusal of the Inspector General of Police to honor the invitations of the Committee on Police Affairs. 2. Summon the Inspector General of Police to appear before the committee unfailingly by 2 p.m. on Thursday, the 19th day of January 2017, at Conference Room 023, New Wing, House of Representatives, National Assembly Complex. And finally, cause a bench warrant to be executed for the arrest of the Inspector General of Police for the purpose of his appearance before the committee in the event of his refusal to or failure to appear on 19th January 2017. Mr. Speaker, I so humbly move. Is anchored on certain principles for its sustenance. And those principles are principles of separation of powers, constitutionalism, and rule of law. Mr. Speaker, by the express provisions of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, the House under Section 62 is empowered in the exercise of its legislative functions to constitute standing committees. And the House, in the compliance of that provision of the Constitution, by the provisions of Order 18, Rule 76 of the House Rules, have the Committee on Police Affairs with the mandate specified therein. Mr. Speaker, constitutionally too, because we are talking of democracy that must be nurtured by adherence to rule of law, constitutionalism, and principles of separation of powers. Section 80 and 81 of the Constitution has it that the National Assembly has the core constitutional duty in appropriation and specifying how amounts of money are to be spent in government MDS. Mr. Speaker, in the exercise of such, the 2016 Appropriation Act was passed. Mr. Speaker, further in line with constitutionalism, Section 88 and 89 of the Constitution empowers the National Assembly to investigate. And the purpose of investigation are clearly elaborated in Section 88 to expose corruption, waste, and inefficiency. Done constitutionally by the express provisions of Section 89, the House has the constitutional latitude and powers to invite any person to appear before it. And failure to appear constitutionally, the House has the constitutional mandate to summon and even issue warrant of arrest. Mr. Speaker, in a constitutional democracy, nobody is above the law. It is expected that the police that executes orders of courts and warrants, they are within the ambit of the law to appear for any invitation given to it by the National Assembly and by the express notices and notions we have here now, expressed in the motion. The IG has been invited on 2 separate occasions, and committee members were there waiting for the IG to come. Come and justify your expenditure. Come and justify whatever you call it, whether it is diversion or whether it is virement, so that the House might be in a position to know, even when or whether you need more funds. How does the House operate? Does the House operate in absentia? We cannot barb the head of the Inspector General of Police in his absence. And having invited him on 2 occasions and he has failed to appear, the next thing constitutionally the House has the powers to do is to summon him. Mr. Speaker, that is the intent of the motion, and I so submit.
Honorable Dr. MS.
Thank you, Mr.
Those in favor of the motion as amended say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it.